Well, good morning, everyone.
Good
Um,
morning, morning.
Before we do start, I want to take in a remembrance for September 11th. And it's a day that we're going to reflect on our history. We're going to be talking about the cold climate that.
Yeah, correct. Cool.
So
Continue. You're doing good stuff.
I would like to reflect on. I would like to reflect on September 11th.
Well,
Um,
let's also let's.
the I
Can you hear
was.
me?
I can go
Let's
ahead.
also pay respects to American commentator, political commentator Charlie Kirk. That sadly lost his life yesterday at at a Utah University. That he was giving a speech on. You know, giving a speech at. And gun violence came to play yesterday, and it's unfortunate. And it has to do with our conversation today about political discourse and our opinions and freedom of speech, um, the liberties that were granted here in the United States to express ourselves, but to also honorably, and not dishonorably, but to be able to be respectful to each other, um, as far as giving our opinions. This platform that I created and that Autumn is the co-host on, uh, I created this, that people can be heard. Um, the voiceless can voice their opinions, and the people who have not been heard can actually be heard. And our mantra here is we all have a voice and an opinion. It's just how you use yours. And I think that speaks volume because Uh, the reason why I created is really to give the voiceless a voice. Um, the people, the silent majority, the people that live everyday lives, working individuals, uh, that are too busy to reflect or even be able to dialogue with what's going on whenever they have a chance to because they're living their own life, are able to kind of tune in and give their own perspectives and not be judged about it. So I think for the people, we need to come together and reflect, and really take a good look at ourselves, uh, about what's going on, politically, economically, socially. And I think together, united, as a saying, united we stand, divisive we fall, or something to that effect. We
United we
take
stand, divided we fall. Yes.
divided we fall.
Abraham
Uh,
Lincoln,
right.
John F.
Yeah,
Kennedy.
we have to really take a good look at ourselves and see, our neighbors as our neighbors. I respect that.
Hmm.
We can have differences. Uh, we can not like each other. I mean, it's fine. You're not gonna like everyone, but at the same time, you have to be respectful of everyone. You have to be able to listen, want to listen, and they have to be able to reciprocate that same thing to you. So, what happened yesterday was tragic. It was all over the news. Um, I never knew him personally, but I knew that he was actually the one to assist Candace Owens to give her a platform. She was
Hmm.
working with his organization that he started, that Turning Point USA. And so, to a sense, we probably wouldn't have known Candace Owens because of him. We wouldn't have known who she was or the type of commentator she is. So, you can say that he kind of assisted. You don't want to give him all the credit, but you want to say that he assisted, finding out who Candace Owens is. We wouldn't have a voice like hers, and her views, out there if, um, we didn't have a person like a Charlie Kirk, who gave her that platform or assisted to give her that platform.
Hmm.
So,
Yep.
um, we have to be mindful of that. So people that we don't agree with or agree with, They do bring about other people. They do elevate other people and help other people that we've never may have never known, whether you disagree or agree with them. They do end up giving out platforms for people who have bigger voices. So, I guess you would say those are the silent majority people too, because Charlie Kirk was known, but he was able, you know, Candace Owens wasn't able. I mean, wouldn't been able to amplify her voice without that organization in which she was the
Hmm.
communications director for. So, he's the man behind the woman, if you want to say, if you want to say it like that. Okay, so enough of that. Let's get into it. We were going to speak about another topic, but I told Autumn today that I wanted to kind of speak about exactly what's going on, and kind of reflect on it. So this is going to be kind of reflection, opinions. I need everybody who's on here. Thank you for coming on. I would like to get people in the comments. I want people to be more proactive uh, in giving comments and specifying dialogue. I think like I said, us as Americans, we have to be able to dialogue and project each other's voices because we all have an opinion. It's just what you do with that opinion. We all have a voice, and again, it's what you do with that voice. So uh, let's get into it. I want this to be a daily thing of us conversing, not necessarily on this topic. Today will be on this topic, but on different topics on a daily basis. And let's get into it. Um, American discourse, opinions, voices, comments. What do you think about what's playing out in society right now?
Well, if we're going to start with today, September 11th,
Correct. And let's
I would
let's
like to
acknowledge that.
put I would like to put in that I honestly don't know what to believe in what has happened in history and what is going to continue to happen in history. We were young. I was in fifth grade when this happened, and I got to witness it on TV. But a lot of people were there. And a lot of people, because of the incident, were moved away from New York. But we go into realizing that sometimes when something happens like that, I tend to believe that there is a lot of other things that are happening that we don't or shouldn't really know. It's none of our business, but it is, especially
Hey
when it
Matt, how are
comes to
you?
the
Thank you for
people.
coming.
Uh, so, as far as it goes to, I remember 9/11 as
Hello,
for
Yuki.
those
Thank you
who
for coming on. Go
were
ahead.
the ones who got in the middle of what was going on. They so happened to be there. But it goes deeper and will there will always be deeper knowledge to why things are happening. I believe that we definitely continue to have this bias nation mentality that America was for white people and America was not built correctly, if you ask me. This land was stolen, this land was built on slavery, etc., etc. We are forced to believe that we are different, but we simply are just skin and DNA. Just because you're
Hold on a
that,
second. Hold on a second. Hold on a
okay?
second. Autumn. Yuki. Whatever your sexual orientation or preferences, that's fine. Uh, we are having a serious conversation on what's happened within the last 24 hours. Let's stay on topic here, and that's for anybody in the room in the chat. Please, we want to hear from you. Let's stay on topic. Let's focus on what's going on. And like, comment, and share this
Hmm.
live. All right, get back to it.
Okay. So the 9/11, what I'm trying to get to is I have come to many years of realization that it was just a deploy to have us be split. We now are a diverse country, very diverse, and a lot of people come here to seek that American dream. And they get here and realize sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I don't typically like to be in politics, but I did appreciate watching Kirk's um, stuff. He was probably the only one I really enjoyed watching. He had very valid points on the society. Period. I do believe in education. I believe in knowledge completely, but when it is forced a certain way, when it is made to look one way and not really be correct, people go out believing that they know what's going on or they know the truth to what. Like we'll look into medical. The medical field, there is one aspect of it, and that's your generic pharmaceutical side, and then you have your medicinal side. Those two correspond each other because they do cure things, and they do make sure that we have the right and correct, up to date knowledge to it. But what it also does is one fixes the symptoms and the other one fixes the problem. That is what education does here. It's either you're going to get it from who is fixing the symptoms or who is fixing the problems. A lot of people will go out and self teach themselves like Charlie Kirk, and they will go out and put their footsteps in this world as so. I didn't know until this morning, doing some more research of my own because I have yet to research him. Just watch his his channels and stuff, his influence. There we go. I did not know how close he was with Trump. I like to say that I am not one to support the negativity of the world, but I am here to support whoever is doing the better. Trump, and just like Obama, has implicated this world into becoming better practices, such as, they did raise up the consent law to 21, which I believe was wonderful. It keeps on both sides. It keeps us safe. And then there are new programs and not restrictions, but where they're mandating us to recycle. And I'm glad that they are. But one of the things that I tend to remember when things are forced to make happen, why weren't they happening before they were forced? It gets you to question the real reasons of why something's happening. But back to just the diverse of the United States. So with 9/11, even myself were like, oh, I don't like Iraq people, or I don't like people who aren't from this place, because I was washed to believe that the white people were superior. And um, honestly, I really didn't even encounter other ethnicities until I got older, and actually my cousin married an African American, and that's how I really got into realizing that we're all the same. She's not different, I'm not different. And with that, she made beautiful children who are my cousins, and I love them. The thing is with that happening, same thing like with Mexicans. We're just going to say Mexicans because that's where they're coming from, Mexico, or anybody else, but we put the title as Mexicans. They are coming over here hoping to get away from what's going over there. I have heard plenty of people say they go to Mexico and it's beautiful. But what are they
Thank you,
running away from if you really
thank,
think about it?
thank you, William. Thank
Same
you,
thing with
Andrew.
Africa.
Give me
Same thing
1 second.
with
1 second. Hold that thought. Thank you,
okay.
William. Thank you, Andrew. Everybody else who's come on. Uh, Yuki, Matt. Uh, keep commenting. From time to time, I will stop on them, or even stop myself just to acknowledge everybody as we grow this community. Please like, share, and comment. Let's bring more people on here. And also, I have the donation button. in the top. So if you guys want to donate, make me happy. Make us happy.
Sport a
All right.
cause.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
um, so I kind of lost track. Oh yeah, so like when
Mm,
people come from different places such as India, we always have this notion that they're just trying to live off us. They're just trying to do that in us. But it's vice versa. If you really, really think about it, we send we sent jobs over there for them to be slaved. They get paid way less than we do. And people are like, well, that's because Americans know their worth. No, it's not. It's because they they want the maximum um, proceedings to come from that work, and they're going to find it wherever they can. Just like our clothing. Our clothing comes from people who are in factories, sweat factories, if we're going to be correct about it, to make, and Nike buys it, and or Nike buys it at pennies and sells it for dollars. And the people who or the person who just made it got paid pennies. It just it shouldn't be like that. And I personally feel like America is a little experimental continent, just because it is. Plus, it was separated from Britain, and they had a lot of the power in society for many, 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 many years,
mm-hmm,
and probably still will continue. I mean,
mm-hmm.
shit, they got the queen and the king. But it's nothing to say that I just believe they still, the people who are making sure that everything is run smoothly in their areas. But
What? Okay.
America, I think
So,
people,
what do you think? What does that have to do with the voices of people, the opinions of people, and what's going on right now in society? What happened yesterday? That's all over the
well,
that's all over the
Charlie
globe.
definitely did
Oh,
speak on a
how does
lot of
that also
things.
impact with September 11th or what happened in tragedies? How does I want to see how do we tie everything in?
Okay. So it Charlie went out and spoke what he knew, and he continued to tell people about how he would change or how things need to change. That's freedom of speech. He implicated himself to go and be that voice for us and to help us realize what he knew and believed was incorrect of this world. He had a lot of courage. He definitely had a lot of knowledge that he went and found himself. And it it proves to us that it takes one person, one time to do something and actually have the result that we were looking for. And if you don't do it, you won't ever know. You have to keep up with what you believe in, because if you don't, we don't believe in it, it's just going to fall back down to what it was before you started to believe in it. So keeping us together is going to help us as a society, as a nation, realize that we all are responsible for what we say, for what we do, and at the end, for the results. If we don't do something together, it really probably won't happen. We have to be united for us to actually make the change that is needed. You don't need to waste your life believing that you have to have money to be happy. I personally believe your relationships, your knowledge, and your actions are more valuable than your money. Uh, but money does talk, and money will make people do things.
Correct.
And with this society, you have to pay your light bills, you have to pay your water bills, and you have to pay your taxes, etc., etc. I do view a world that was better inside my mind by believing that there are ways to be different but still the same. I'm unsure how that would ever go, but I do like to think of a world as so. making sure that you speak what you believe in, you also need to have your credibility towards it. You don't just want to speak on what you don't know or what you believe without realizing or without collecting the right information to spread. I always like to tell people do your own information check, fact checked, whatever you're going to call it. If you believe in something and you want people to know about it, continuously build upon your knowledge base of it. You don't want to just flat out tell people lies or even misdirection. You want to be able to go out there and say it fully knowing what you're talking about. And that's what Charlie did. He definitely focused on the this society's problems, and he allowed people to talk to him about it, and he was respectful about it. And people, I have watched many times over some of his videos, and I wonder like what he was thinking about this person, and he couldn't tell about this person. Like, I'll give an example. We're talking about the transgender people. I have nothing against transgenders because I know myself why a transgender was created. There is trauma, there is shame, and they themselves had to remake their identity, and that is who they are. I wouldn't say that I believe that we should have been that way because I don't think the universe makes mistakes like that. We also are
The universe or God?
hormonal,
God, you like
either or.
using,
I call it
you
the
know,
universe because you
mm,
you can't say God because there are many creators. There's creator of us and the creator of the universe, the creator of all. There's you just
well,
I
that's, I
can't
think that's
myself
that
say it.
that that's that is a personal opinion,
Yes.
correct?
I will say
Uh,
universe, you can say God.
yes, and you believe what I'm not trying to go one way or the other. That's an opinion, but you have the right to that opinion. Um, and I don't want to segregate or still alienate people on their opinions on that. But what do you think? Okay, so do you think what has happened, you know, like right, even the tragedy happened right before September 11th, and it could have been calculated, you know.
Hmm.
Do you think
Staged.
us? Well, I wouldn't say you say staged, like something that
I don't know because you
someone's
really
life.
don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think someone's life being taken is staged. Never. You know.
Mm, I
Or you
like
or
I
you
said,
mean
I
or
can't
you
tell you no. I can't tell you yes. Sometimes they'll sit there and tell you one thing happened and it be a whole different story. Even Charlie had talked about the one who said I can't breathe, I can't breathe. If you watch that video to what he was talking about, that was staged, and that caused an uprise in the world.
no, let's
So,
not let's not let's not Autumn. I don't
oh, I'm
you
sorry.
No, 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 no. Because it, I don't want to get too political. I don't want to get, I just the whole thing of people's life being taken. They're not here. There's no coming back from that,
Hmm.
especially when you're dealing with the gun violence. And so I don't want to put this thing being staged or what you think or this. I mean, or what you perceive or hypotheticals or is it? Let's look at
Hmm.
it for what it is. There was a person's life being
Yes.
taken
Hmm.
because he was invited to a school in which he was giving his political opinion or his opinion on society issues or whatever it was talking about the topic of the moment. Are we in a place in the United States that I can have a disagreement like me you may be having right now,
Hmm.
but civilly, that we can't express that and still be like, okay, cool, let's go get some pizza. You're on one end of the spectrum. On
Okay.
the other end of the spectrum, let's go get a coffee. I'm thirsty. Let's go get a pizza. I'm hungry. We still have to eat. We still have to drink at the end of the day. We
Yep.
still have to do what we have to do at the end of the day. Are we at a place in society that we can't even speak on this? This is what I'm saying. YouTube gave us a platform for people to do lives or watch videos,
Hmm.
but they have a vehicle for people to express their opinions, whatever the opinions are, whether it's right or wrong, as long as it doesn't cause anybody any harm or any type of trauma. Obviously, you're here to express your opinions that we do almost every day, to build communities, to express our voices, to listen to each other, to civilly debate each other, and also try whatever's going to make the world a better place. To push the
Hmm.
push the envelope. Are we in a place that this can now continue, or does it discontinue? You know, this is a
What is getting
serious topic.
discontinued?
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
can
very
we
much
still
so.
can we still talk about topics? Can we still have sessions like this? Do we have to regulate what we're saying? Do we have to monitor? Do we have to censor? Can we have this type of conversations without people trying to find our location and off us? You know, this is what I'm talking about. Should I be in fear because I can't have a conversation with you on a live because now people are going to try to track our location or where we're located? You know, God forbid they could find our location on here. YouTube has like this magic wand and it can show us our exact address. That would be kind of nightmarish, right? Popping up to like a place that you're eating breakfast and you're having conversation because you want to improve the community or build the community, and the person just popping up like, yo, listen, I saw you on live, and which does happen. People are able to have come on people's lives on different platforms and been able to track them. So I think Andrew brings up a good point, the accountability. Um, and I don't know, Andrew, who's one of our guests, one of our watchers on here. Uh, he states people who lack accountability think everything is an attack on them. So I guess he's saying Charlie. Are you saying that Charlie Kirk or even us, we're lacking accountability, and so we think that people are attacking us, or you know, again, that's his opinion. He's has the right to state that. I don't know if I necessarily agree. I don't know if you necessarily agree, but you
I
have an
agree
opinion.
completely.
Well, I mean, you have an opinion. You have an opinion. You have the right to the opinion, and you have a right to that voice. The attackers, okay?
Oh, hmm.
So, but he's able to express that on the live, and
Yep.
we're able to provide that platform or this platform, and YouTube is able to give us those resources, or the platforms are able to give us the resources to express those views or commentary or analysis. So I think, again, I asked the question, where are we in society? All this, where are we collectively
I
on a
definitely
macro level?
believe we're 1 foot in and 1 foot out. So I didn't mean to make it seem like uh, that I thought it was a stage. I'm just saying I don't
No,
believe anything,
no, no, no,
but
no. Correct,
I
correct.
do
But
believe his influence was very
mhm.
needed in this world. And I'm glad to have. I at first didn't realize it had happened until, being told, but it's the fact that he did go step out and do what we're talking about, freedom of speech. He did go step out of anybody's comfort zone to go out and tell what he knew, and that I am very humbled by because he has helped myself think about things in a different perspective.
Right. And I think that's needed. I think the whole point of us is engaging and debating civilly about matters is to open our minds from different perspectives of everybody, right? Because we all can't come at the same thing. We can't all be focused or be at the same have the same ideas, the same thoughts. We're all the same, but we're all different. You know, and it's being able to listen to each other and understand. Okay, oh, your perspective is that. Well, mine is a little bit different than that. Oh, but we can find middle ground, and then maybe we can come to that middle ground and be able to change and to find or change the landscape or the outcome or the discourse or whatever it's supposed to be to make whatever humanity, our cities, our society, our states, or whatever, our localities better. Um, but it's being able to listen to each other first. So it's good that you said that okay, he was able to open your eyes to certain things. Yeah, because I feel like he was able to do that too. I didn't agree with everything that he stated, but he did have a platform. And then we also have to be glad that he was able to bring other people onto those platforms that we probably have never heard of until he brought them
Mhm.
to the platform. So there might have
Mhm.
been people who said, "Listen, Candace Owens, I don't necessarily like everything she said, but she's someone from the community, from my people that has a voice, and she has the right to that because that's the God-given right that the United States provides, and we should be glad for that. So even if you didn't
I
really know
agree.
him, he was able to put other people on various platforms, just like other commentators have put other people on platforms. So we have to look at that as well. You know that sometimes people who no one knows what the outcome is. Sometimes you just do it just to do it. And then from that outcome, other things can arise from that, right? We all do things
Mhm.
to maybe want something to you may plan for an outcome, but that doesn't necessarily mean that outcome is going to prevail. That doesn't mean that outcome is going to be influential or be on the side that you wanted. But at the same time, you still had to put it out there because you would never know what the outcome was going to be unless you put it out there, right? So
Mhm.
we have to be mindful of that as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, man. So yeah, continue. Go ahead.
Okay. Uh, continue on what? Just give me a pinpoint of where we should start again.
No, I mean, what do you think about this whole ordeal? And break it down. How do we learn from this in our own individual lives? Because if we're not learning from this, then it's nothing. And we
Well,
wanted to make it something.
so I personally believe that sometimes when something looks good, it's not always good. Let's take this cupcake. This cake looks delicious. It looks like I would just be so happy to ingest it. But that
Where's
cupcake
the cupcake?
is no good.
Where's the
It's my imaginary
imagine it?
cupcake.
Okay, got it. Yeah,
I couldn't even get it out. It's my
got
imaginary
it.
cupcake.
Right.
This imaginary cupcake looks so good, and everybody tells me that it's good.
Right.
But on the backside of it, when it gets inside my body, it's no good.
Mhm.
Um, that's what I somewhat believe in influencers and politicalness. Um, they, you either have the ones who actually are trying to make us collectively realize that um, we're being we're being shielded from certain things, such as knowledge. And that's why Charlie was talking about college is a scam. I don't believe college is a scam because knowledge is not a scam. But when they monetize off it, it becomes more of a control tactic. And then a couple other things. You just don't know unless you go out and see it for yourself. And even just because you see something doesn't make it true. Like, you can see something and have your own opinion, your own thoughts. It does not make your opinion, your thoughts, the fact. Until there are certain things that are brought together as information, you cannot place it as fact. He could, he could have said this and that, and like we were talking about, those are his opinions, those are his collectiveness of his knowledge put into his words and spoke out. I don't think he's wrong, but I also don't know where he's also right. I will definitely see things differently than others, and then others definitely see things that I don't see. And that's one thing that we come together and we collectively talk about our thoughts and our experiences, and from there we are able to build out the facts. That's where facts come from, is knowledge, experience, and just making sure that it's correct. And then you can't even believe that because information and knowledge is changing all the time. What we thought was true is not now true. And what we're not understanding could have been simple enough for us to know what was going on, but we could not and wouldn't state it as information until we had all of the information. So it's more and less what somebody is going to believe. You've got to definitely fact check it in your mind. You can't just believe it because you heard it. You can't just believe it because somebody you like out in the world is saying it. You yourself have to go and find the truth. You can't just listen to or see it, because there's a lot of manipulation going on in the world and the streets and relationships. People will act like they are your best friend and turn out to be the ops. Okay, you just keep yourself humbled, authentically. Keep yourself out there doing what you believe in, doing what makes you happy, and spreading that kindness, spreading the respectfulness, and not allowing the negativity of this world to guide you into believing your actions aren't enough. Like, if you get into a fight or an altercation, it could have been conducted better. Not always will it be, but when it does, you tend to get your point across. People look at it as valuable instead of throwaway. It's just how we talk to one another and how we're going to treat one another and how we're going to get our results. So, with that being said, like I'm saying, you have these people who will sit here and use people like a sugar baby and a what is it? A sugar daddy and a
Sugar
sugar
daddy.
baby.
Okay.
We're gonna use that relationship. The daddy knows what he needs. The sugar baby knows what she needs to give.
Uh,
But together, that relationship is an unhealthy relationship that is built off of wants instead of needs. He is using her and vice versa, and her is using him. With that,
but
the manipulation between
but that, I think that's perspective, because some people will say they want it, they want that dynamic to be like that. But I think that's maybe a perspective thing. No,
perspective, yes,
you know,
but really, what does that sugar daddy want? That sugar daddy wants himself, that person, but now he has to go and buy it. He
right?
didn't want to go buy it, I bet. And if he did
Maybe,
have to buy it,
maybe.
he would have wanted somebody to be very truly interested in him. So that way he could feel better about his purchase. I look at it as that one. They're really
But
just trying to.
how about the business? How about the business people who say they don't have time for relationships? And then also on the flip side, the people who are the sugar babies who saying, "Listen, I'm too I'm traumatized that I don't have time for relationships on the flip side, their trauma too. I think both sides may have trauma. They just put themselves in positions where they don't want
Okay.
to have, you know. I think it's just perspective on certain things. I'm not saying you're right or
Oh
wrong
no,
or
I
anything
get what
like
you're
that. I'm
saying
saying,
though.
yeah, yeah.
I get what you're saying because
They both
it's
have
their
to
perspective
mutually
too.
agree. Yeah, they both mutually agreed to have that relationship the way it is. That mutual agreement. It was consensus there. You
In
know.
a way.
Yeah. You know.
It I like to look at it like they're doing what they can to get what they want. And if
Correct.
there's trauma, if there's no time and they're blaming it on trauma, why they can't be in a relationship respectively, then go heal. Go and heal. Go make sure that you're ready to be that person for somebody that is meant for you because everybody wants to be loved. They're not too busy for love. They just don't want to spend the time on it because they have been hurt. They don't want to or they're scared they're going to be hurt. But it like you said, it boils down to being um, traumatized in a relationship that they no longer feel like they need to put valuable um, efforts towards it. So it's like you either build it or you buy it. And they're going to buy it because that is easier for them. That's less risks for them. That's what they're going to do. But what I was trying to get with that relationship is no matter how you look at that relationship, it's definitely one that is built on manipulation. You both are trying to play a role for each other that you probably don't want to really be there, but you want the outcome of it. And that can be many things when it comes to that type of relationship. We already know what they are. But if any other incentives were there, do you think they would be doing that? I personally know they wouldn't, unless
You
it
mean
was like
well?
genuinely just trying to be a companionship.
Well, if it was okay, let's look at the sugar baby. If she had ways of maybe getting the income or the resources that she needed without having to go into doing that, I think that she would probably choose the latter, meaning choose
Hmm.
the alternative. And if
Hmm.
the other guy could find a females or people that actually took interest to him without him having to air out his bank account or his assets or whatever he was trying to do, just to feel wanted and uh, you know feel obliged by the significant other that he's dealing with. I'm sure he would probably choose the route where he doesn't have to spend his whole life savings. I
Hmm.
don't know. You know what I mean? But then again, it may not have to do with anything like that. It may just be that they're comfortable in that type of uh,
Settings.
setting. Correct. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
that's
but
what that really depends on.
we all go through those things. We all get desperate. We all get um, anxiety bound to
Right.
where we don't know how to get what we're seeking. And a lot of times through the money will talk and we will walk right towards it. Nobody's perfect here, but we all are conducting a soul that needs its light to be able to go wherever it's supposed to go.
Right.
I know that's another topic, but um, I try to remember any kind of relationship I have conducted that was not necessarily the right relationships. I have in the past tried to make amends, and I also try to be a better person in the end of it. Not always will I be the better person in the beginning, but at the end I try to still preserve a relationship even if it was a wrong one.
Hmm.
And if you want an example, we're going to talk about friends. Friends that you grew up with, and then as you parted ways, you, one got into drugs and other things, and you yourself was on a better path. You still wanted to be that friend. You still wanted to believe that friend had self-worth. But as you continue to watch their life become, um, you you yourself just you try to stay in that relationship, and because you're forcing a relationship, sometimes that person runs far from you and doesn't ask for your help no more because you're forcing it. I have a few friends now that I have went to high school with or somehow have obtained through my life, and one of them specifically, he is stuck in that fentanyl phase. He
Mm.
used to be a beautiful dancer. I mean, being a man, a beautiful dancer. He would construct beautiful music, played the guitar. He played like 6 instruments. Plus, he knew how to read music like a genius.
Right.
He's out here struggling with trying to find himself back
And that's
from
because of
before
the
fentanyl.
that was the fentanyl addiction.
Yeah. And I hadn't seen him in a long time. And when I did see him, I was brought tears to me. He looked like himself, but he didn't. He's as old as I am, and his face looked like he had like a druggie. Like he's just not able to hold on for 1 second.
Yeah, as autumn is soon to come back. I think addiction uh, is definitely evident into different personalities as well. And she's back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry. I just had to
uh,
change locations for a second.
yeah, yeah,
It's gonna get
definitely,
loud
definitely,
inside.
definitely. So
But
yeah, you were speaking
yeah.
about the addiction. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's struggling like that, and I myself wanted to continue to be friends with. Sometimes he'll actually just last week he contacted me after being silent for about 2 3 months, maybe even longer, and said he finally got 1013. I don't know if anybody knows that, but that's a threat to yourself and others, and he was forced into a um uh what are they called, mental hospital, where I was like, okay, do you feel like you got help and stuff like that? And I'm going to be proud of you either way. I'm still your friend. But on that, I feel like maybe I pushed him back away because I haven't heard it from him since then. And I would love to be able to have that relationship with him again. And I
Mhm.
don't want to push my feeling like he is worthiness on him, because I think that's what sometimes people get triggered by is, and you don't realize it, trying to be that friend. You don't realize that they're going to get triggered. Maybe I wasn't the trigger, but what I'm trying to get to is sometimes a relationship doesn't have to be the all the like the nice side of it, because you do have to set your boundaries. You do have to make sure that you're not going to get caught up in whatever shit that got going on, because it can and will drag other people into it. It's like a black hole.
Mhm.
So I think also he probably tries to keep his distance, because who to say that he wants to even introduce me to that life. But I think he also believes and knows that I'm always going to be his friend. And then, there goes that thing where no man or woman can be friends with a man or a woman without
Yeah,
liking them.
yeah, yeah. Which
Well,
is
you have to
which
like
is
something about somebody to keep them in your circle.
correct, 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 correct. So, uh, that's another topic that we should speak. Can men and women actually be friends? And that'll be a great topic. And I'm
Ugh,
going to put that in the back burner. You should also put that in the back burner too. It'll be like relationship part two. Men and women be friends. Talk about that.
right?
Uh, yeah. So I think where we are at uh, initially, as society evolves and changes, um, perspectives and us having a clear understanding where everybody stands. It needs to be initiated. I think
It
there needs to
does.
be more dialogue. It needs to be more dialogue for
Ooh.
people to have better
Mhm.
understanding. I think people need to communicate clearer, as opposed to being one-offs. There has to be definitely more and more engagement between people, and I think we need to be less. Um, so I think we have to be less quick to judge and more open to listen. So once when you start prejudging and imposing your own will on somebody or some things that they haven't been able to explain to you, I think that also hurts the dynamics of how the outcome is supposed to be. So we shouldn't be
Mm.
so quick to rush, but we should be quick to do more critical thinking, be more analytical. But I think we also shouldn't be so quick to judge and push people away so quick. Give them a chance or opportunity to explain their point of view, to explain their side and see where they're coming from. Even if you don't
Yeah.
like it or don't understand it, you have to let them explain where they're coming from.
That, and that comes back to Charlie Kirk. I do believe that's what he was allowing to happen. Is I was allowing for people to hear him and then him hear them, and with it being broadcasted, it gave everybody the chance to see sides of what's really going on. Opinions are opinions, facts are facts, but they're always changing, and we have to respect each other's voice. So I'm glad that we got to talk about this because it definitely helps you set the day to remember things such as being respectful even when you want to say something that is
And
not the kindest of words, but you can always think it. Just take the
yeah,
time to remember how to analyze it and then spit it out in a way that it doesn't cause that rift of not being able to be heard and being able to actually get the point across because you are infiltrating it with other feelings and
yeah,
nobody wants that. You don't want to be heard, so you want to be heard, so you don't need to be wasting your energy on being upset about it. Just consciously think about things before you do go and blow up. That's one thing that we all, I'm sure, could work on.
yeah,
Um, I've seen some very patient people before, so
yeah. So,
hoping to become one of them.
yeah, and man. So yeah. So tomorrow we'll speak on the topic that we were supposed to speak on. Hopefully, it'll be homelessness. Because actually, I had this whole big thing prepared, but I just felt like this topic was a little bit more
I
conducive
liked
for
it.
the day.
Hmm.
So tomorrow we'll speak more on the topic that we were supposed to speak today. That's now been pushed back for tomorrow. And but today's topic
That's
was
fine.
good. Uh,
You replaced it with what was really, I believe, fitting for the day.
yeah, definitely. And love your neighbors like you love yourself, man. I think that whole because you have an opinion or you have a standpoint, uh, you have people shouldn't have to lose their lives. You know what I mean? This is a guy who has a wife. He has
Yeah,
two
and
kids,
kids. Hmm.
and last night must have been dreadful for his wife. You know, this morning it made it real for them.
Hmm.
It made it real for them. And for someone like myself who lost family members, uh, it, the next day you just never know. Like the next day really puts it in perspective. Like, oh wow, that person
Yeah.
that was here yesterday is not here today. that person
Yeah,
that
we don't realize s- how sensitive life is.
yeah,
Within a second, it's gone.
yeah,
It's what I feel about these these bugs out here.
yeah,
You don't realize how much they matter
yeah.
until they're gone.
Right. So love your neighbors, love your family, your friends. Tell
And
people
self,
you love. Yeah, tell people that you love them, you care for them, that you're there for them, and try to find middle ground. Try to find middle ground with people and hear them out and stand firm on your beliefs, man. Stand 10 toes down, as they say. Um,
yes,
be honorable, be morally conscious or whatever religious beliefs that you believe in. Um, yeah, man. I don't know. An hour show. Can you believe that? An hour show. An hour topic
yes,
and an hour discussion.
we
All
got
right.
it.
That's great. All right. Till tomorrow, folks. It's Autumn
Until
G,
tomorrow.
Sammy B. Uh, thank you for coming on Economic Finance Report EFR TV. Peace, peace, peace. Love
Until
y'all.
next time, stay great.